Hello, hello, and welcome to Dharma Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Julie Surratt, founder of the Dharma Circle, head coach of Maya. And today's Dharma Talk Tuesday is about a question that I've been hearing a lot lately. And the question is, wow, I've invested so much in my business, in myself, in whatever. Why am I not seeing the success yet? Why am I not seeing results in career, in love, in whatever it is that you've been investing in? So this is a conversation I've been hearing a lot lately, and I wanted to address it because it's something that's coming into my world for a reason, and I want to provide support to you to hopefully make a difference for you. And if you follow me on my email list, then you know that I said two very important things about this topic that I want to highlight once again. And if you don't follow me on my email list, I'll post a link here for a little free gift that I'll give you if you want to start following me super quick after my broadcast here is over. But the two things that I said are this. I said the first thing, I said, awesome, great, you're ambitious. You have a big vision and you failed a couple times in trying to achieve that vision. That's not abnormal. In fact, I think even the definition of failure here needs to be addressed and looked at. I think so often people identify, like for example, Newton with the light bulb. I might be totally misquoting this and butchering it. Amy Ramsey, I see you're here. Hello. You're probably laughing at me right now as I'm the promoter getting excited about this, trying to quote something specific. I think it was Newton with the light bulb. And he said, I didn't fail 15,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. I just found 15,000 ways that it didn't work. Thomas Edison. Got it. Thanks. You guys get the drift. I knew, Amy. How did I know? You'd know that one. And I knew you'd be giggling at me. But you guys get my drift. 15,000 times he failed. And how often do we do that to ourselves, where we try something and then it doesn't work, and then we try something else and it doesn't work, and rather than the conversation being, wow, I found 3 different ways that it didn't work, awesome, gonna keep going, the conversation then becomes, I am a failure. Somehow it's like I'm a lemon, I'm defective, hello, I'm defective, and and I just can't get it right. You know what I mean? It's if you're hearing me and you're getting what I'm saying about this failure conversation, then give me some hearts and likes to let me know that you're getting it and you're hearing what I'm saying. And that's the first thing, but the problem isn't about the failure conversation. The problem is about our perspective about ambition. And one of my favorite things that I tell people that really made a big difference for me when I heard it, which may make a difference for you too, is that Richard Branson, who if you follow me, he's one of my favorites, has, he's obviously a multi-billionaire now, but when he first started, he actually took 25 years to get out of debt. And it wasn't just a couple $1,000s of debt. It was a couple $1 million in debt that he was in. 25 years to get a few $1 million out of debt. And the way that he got out of debt was by selling Virgin Music. And the only reason why he sold Virgin Music was because it was becoming down to a choice between either Virgin Music or Virgin Airlines. And he believed so much in Virgin Airlines, he made the hard choice to sell Virgin Music. It went off to somebody who he was, he trusted and wanted to give the company to. But in the end, that was what ultimately got him out of debt after 25 years of being in millions of dollars in debt for the purposes of pursuing his vision. So Diane says, Lordy, have I had that convo. Thank goodness I'm working past it. Yeah, you are. Amy, wow. And to think how people are so afraid of debt. That's vision. That's exactly right, Amy. It's he was, and obviously is, so crazily committed to his vision of what he sees possible that those millions of dollars of debt, yes, freaked him out, which he talks about, in his books and things like that. But it didn't stop him from continuing to invest, continuing to believe, continuing to expand, hire, grow his employee base, buy an island, create water and a place to live, habituation on the island and things like that, and on and on and on, the many, many things that he's done. And so that's the first thing, is like, if you've invested so much and you're in the conversation still of like, why isn't this working? I think the moral of the story of this first point is like, ease up on yourself for a second and have some compassion for yourself. Last year I invested $20-something thousand in Facebook ads because I just got really excited about the idea of having like thousands of leads come into my work and identify their own Dharma and start to get more connected to their body wisdom and make a difference for them and grow my business. And I just got really excited about that. And $20-something thousand in, that strategy still didn't work. And I went into a good 8 months of self beat up about that debacle as I saw it. I was like, wow, Facebook ads don't work. They didn't work for me. And I just wasted $20-something thousand, which, I mean, for me, that was a lot. For some entrepreneurs, that's like pennies. I don't know what it is for you, but for me, that was like, it was a good chunk of change. And for it to have converted to zero was pretty disappointing. And in the end, my conversation to myself for a long time was like really, really in that space of, wow, I invested so much and it didn't work. And I let that take me down. Like, I let it take me out. I let it take me down. I let myself get the frustration. It was like a really negative place to be. And it didn't align to where I wanted to go, which was success, spaciousness, light, freedom. Amy, there's so important. There's so many lessons from that. Yeah. And so let's be clear, I'm not saying Facebook ads don't work. That's definitely not what I'm saying, because there are people who are using Facebook ads very successfully. I mean, something I've learned just from watching them is that it tends to take hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment to make Facebook ads work. And some people have that. Maybe you have that. I don't necessarily have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of money to throw at ad spend to just test a funnel. Maybe you do, in which case do it. But if you're watching this and you're like me and you had that initial thought of I'll put $5, $10, $15, $20,000 at Facebook and, get a nice little return on that, and then you don't get it right away, don't do what I did, which was go into the self-beat-up conversation of, wow, I've invested so much and this didn't work. My recommendation, having come out the other side of that, is to recognize, wow, I'm ambitious. I wanted to try something because I had a goal and I wanted to try a new strategy, and it didn't work, and that's okay. And that's okay. And I'm going to move on. I'm not going to change my goal. That's a really big one. Don't change your goal, change your strategy. So I didn't change my goal, I just changed my strategy to something else, rather than making myself feel bad or making the person who I hired to do my ads for me, rather than making them wrong, because that could have been very tempting as well. It wasn't about making anyone wrong. It wasn't about making me right and them wrong. It wasn't about making them right and me wrong. It literally is not about right or wrong. And this is what I said in the email that went out. It's not about right or wrong. It's actually about alignment. It's about alignment. Yeah, Amy, great mindset shift. Thank you. Don't change your goal, change your strategy. Thank you for highlighting that, Amy. It's so true. Don't change your goal, change your strategy. So when you're aligned really clearly to what your goal is, you become unwavering. You become really centered, you become really strong, and you also become really peaceful, because you realize there's no back door. So for example, just to give a really personal example in another realm of my life, there was a time in my relationship where I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just to be really frank and honest. And I didn't even really realize I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out until I started realizing I was manifesting a relationship where he was also 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And neither of us felt good. And we both started to look for evidence, because that's what the human brain does, is we start to look for evidence because we love to be right. Hearts and likes if you love to be right. We all do. And I started to look for evidence of why he wasn't the right one for me. And the truth is, whether it's looking for evidence of whether your coach is the right one for you or not, or your man is the right one for you or not, when you are looking to be right about something, you will find the evidence. So it's like, well, what do you want to be right about? And what are you willing to be wrong about? So in that moment when he and I sat down, and he actually had the courage, he was the one who initiated the conversation a while back, and he was like, okay, this isn't working. Like, the relationship as it is right now isn't working. And so we need to figure out a new way to be in this relationship. And I got a night to myself. He spent the night away at a friend's house, and I got the night to myself, and I really got honest with myself. Am I in or am I out? Like, am I in this relationship or am I out? And if I choose to be in this relationship, I get to accept him fully for everything he is, everything I love and everything I don't love as much. But what's cool about that is that I also created a space for me to be accepted fully for who I am by him, and also by myself, because it's all a mirror. And so obviously that evening I chose in. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's the same kind of thing. It's like when I chose to be all in my relationship with my man, it actually got easier. And the reason it got easier was because I didn't have any more energy drains of looking for things that weren't working. So similarly, when you're going towards your goal, let's say your goal in your career or your business, if you keep looking for evidence of things that aren't working, or why things aren't working, or why you're not enough, or why you're going to continue to have the limitations that you find yourself having right now, then you will find them. I promise you'll keep finding them. So what it takes is a really big willingness to shift. So sometimes that shift can happen in the context of what I just said. Okay, so are you willing to be wrong about that? That's a way that you can create that shift. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that creates a very quick, some people get it and they're like, wow, yes, I'm willing to be wrong. And then the next day they'll create extraordinary results. That definitely happens, and it's amazing when that happens. But sometimes you need a little bit more of a push. And I'm going to talk about that momentarily in just a second, as far as how to support yourself in creating that little push through that resistance. But I just want to backtrack and recap and make sure this is really clear. So 2 things on the topic of I've invested in so much and why isn't it working, if that's the conversation you're having. The first thing is, it's good to be ambitious. You are an ambitious human. You are one of the humans in the world who's making a big positive difference in the world because of your ambition, and that's a good thing. So reframing that failure as ambition is really important. The next piece to that first part is the fact that if you just stay focused on your goal rather than changing your goal, stay all in with your goal and just change the strategy along the way if you need to, then that's a lot more empowering, and it keeps you on the track of moving closer to that goal, right? The second piece that I really feel called to highlight here, which may trigger you, it may be hard for you to hear, or it might create self-beat up, or who knows, but the second piece is this. It's that if one program that you were in didn't work for you, one mentor or one path didn't work for you, and then another one also didn't work for you, and then another one also didn't work for you, there's something that's really obvious that just needs to be highlighted here, which is the fact that you are the common denominator of each of those scenarios, not the thing, you. You are the common denominator of each of those scenarios. And again, this isn't about making you wrong or making the other thing wrong or any of that. It's just about alignment. So then it's how do you align to the goal that you want to achieve, whether it's wellness and feeling amazing in your body, or feeling connected and cherished and excited and passionate in a relationship, or feeling abundant and prosperous and purposeful in your career and in your business. The question is not about changing that goal to something smaller or shrinking or contracting. The question is about, how do I adjust my strategy to get there? The strategy then becomes a conversation about alignment as far as I see it. And here's why. It's because you can be given the best strategy in the whole world, and if you're not aligned to your goal, and by aligned, what I'm talking about is energetic alignment. I'm talking about the alignment of your body to, it's sort of like if you're trying to look left, but walk right. That doesn't work. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do when they're achieving their goals, and then they wonder why it doesn't happen. And so I'm talking about physical and energetic alignment. And so when you are aligned to your goals, then you put a strategy in place and it will work. And so let's talk about that for a second. How can you take ownership of your alignment so that you are on track with energetically, with where you want to go? You start to implement the strategies that will start to be effective and that are proven and that will make a difference for you. And then you get there even faster. Okay, so how do you achieve alignment? The way that I teach achieving alignment is through the body. And the reason is because we are physical beings on the physical plane, and so often we forget that and we just try to operate from the neck up and like operate in our head and through logic. And you can't logic your way through wisdom. Your wisdom doesn't actually come from your brain. It doesn't come from your head. It doesn't come from your mind. It comes from your body. So then it's like, how do you access this wisdom that lives in your body? The way that you access the wisdom that lives in your body is primarily through yoga. Now, yoga isn't just about stretching and like doing a forward fold or a downward facing dog. And it's like, okay, I'm enlightened now. No, yoga is a Sanskrit word that means union, and it means uniting your breath with movement. That's one way of looking at the word yoga, which I'm going to highlight right now. Hi, Emily. Hi, Yaela. Wow, this is like Mayan's past and present on the Dharma Talk Tuesday right now. I love it. So great. And so you can actually access different wisdom pieces, so to speak, from your body, depending on what kind of yoga practice you're doing. And that wisdom will actually feed your strategy and the action that you take towards your goal, so that you stop spinning your wheels and trying to force and manipulate and finagle and doing all those things that we often all try to do to achieve the things that we want, or avoid or procrastinate, or all of those things. All those different types of resistance that we see ourselves experiencing. And it puts you into ease. It puts you into flow. It puts you into that experience of like, I don't know where this came from, but I have this idea to reach out to this person, or to implement this workshop idea, or to write this particular copy, or to say these particular words. It's like you don't even know necessarily where it comes from, but it comes from deep within, and it just feels, it rings so true. And so the way that you access that wisdom and that guidance is by being in your body, connected to breath, every single day. And that doesn't have to take like some crazy long extended period of time, like an hour or anything like that. It can be 5 minutes of like, rolling on the floor and happy baby, or downward facing dog, or like a quick sun salutation. I'm going to be starting some yoga live streams here starting on Thursdays, not in the next couple of weeks, but we're like kind of getting it set up and arranged. So you can be on the lookout for that soon if you need support with your yoga practice. So that's something to look forward to that we're going to be coming out with. But in the meantime, literally doing like a downward facing dog on the floor and breathing it, like that's the most neutralizing thing you can do. Do that for 5 breaths, and then like lay on your back and do some twists, and then sit up and literally just notice the difference you feel in your body then as compared with before you did that. It's really hard to feel inspired in your mind when you don't feel good in your body. Like I can tell you that right now, like I'm actually fighting some body stuff right now. Like I had this back thing happen for me this morning. I still went to yoga. I didn't change the goal. The goal is to go to yoga every day. I didn't change the goal. I still went to yoga. I changed the strategy by using lots of blocks and, doing a little bit more child's pose, or just staying in down dog instead of moving through a vinyasa or whatever. But, it's very real. Like I got very serious. Like if I just move a little bit, it's like searing pain. So hearts and likes to help me heal with that one, which I will soon. I know I always do. But again, this is just my form of resistance that's coming up for me right now. We all have our forms of resistance that come up for us when we're facing our next ceilings. And this is just my next ceiling that I'm facing on something right now, which, I could try to explain it to you, but the truth is it's just my body. It doesn't even matter what it actually is. It's just I'm more committed to my goal of being in alignment than letting the pain be bigger than me. So there's probably something in your life where you're feeling off, and you just get to decide, are you bigger than the block, the pain, the heartbreak, the frustration, the overwhelm? Then are you bigger than that, or are you going to let it overtake you and get in the way of you and your goal? Because, you don't necessarily need to force yourself through anything. You just change your strategy, just like I did. I just used some blocks this morning in yoga. So, like, when you commit to your body and to your body wisdom and to your practice and breathing through whatever comes up for you, but just most importantly, showing up to your body every single day, your body starts to support you. It starts to provide you with answers, with wisdom that's actually all built in. It's all here. And that might be something that you might hear me say, and you're like, but aren't you a coach? Like, aren't you supposed to be the one telling me I need you to pay you to help me? I guess you could look at it that way, but actually no, I really believe that you have it all within you. And what I've discovered based on many years in this field is that society is so structured now to have people distrust to People are so distrusting of themselves and their intuition that I'm actually going to have a job for the rest of my life, because I'm on a really strong mission to help everyone step into their Dharma. Look at how many people around you in your life are off purpose right now. Maybe you're somebody who's off purpose and trying to get back on purpose, or maybe you're more on purpose, but you're trying to get even more. Like you're closer to the track, but there's still more aligning that you have in front of you. You see what I mean? And so I know that I'm going to have a job forever, because there's a lot of work to be done out there. Even in myself, it's a constant journey for me, which is why I invest, I think $4 something thousand in coaching every month myself, because I also know that there's more aligning for me to do based on my ambition of where I want to go. Now, are there some months where that money doesn't have a return? Yeah, but there's also some months where that money has like a 10x return. But you have to be the one to stop and acknowledge that and be in gratitude of it. And your practice will help get you out of the resistance of feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and stuck and all of those things, and put you back into the gratitude of okay, wow, so I'm just ambitious. Shift your perspective. I'm just ambitious. I actually have a lot to be grateful for. I've actually created a lot of really great results, and I just get to keep creating more. And here's what success looks like. And here's what failure looks like. Here are my measurables. I'm going to track it and just stop beating myself up about it. I'm just going to be more responsible with what success looks like and what, just your measurables. And that's a whole other conversation, but I'm just throwing that into anyone who hears that and is like, oh, I can actually let myself off the hook here for a second. Okay, so questions, comments, is this resonating? Hearts, likes, let me hear it. Let me get some feedback from you on if this is landing. Yayla says she agrees 100%. Good, I'm glad that resonates. Hearts and likes, thank you. Yeah, totally. I think the other piece here to remember is that if you find yourself again at a plateau and you're in that conversation, just to take it back to the topic of this, which is I've invested so much, why am I not seeing the success I desire? Just recognize it's not, oh, Emily, you're going to yoga class right now. That's amazing. Enjoy it. I'm so happy to hear that. Enjoy that so much. You take such good care of other humans, Emily. So I'm so happy you're taking care of yourself right now too and doing your aligning practice. You guys, Emily is the best. Her and her sister Bridget are the best massage therapists I've ever experienced in my life. If you are in Emily's posted her link here before, but Emily, you can post it again if you want to. Your link to book a massage with you, with where you are. And then Bridget, her sister, is in Park City, and she gives incredible massages as well. They're both the best massages I've ever had in my life, so everyone should go and receive healing from them. It's transcendental. Anyway, what I was saying was the power and importance of making sure that you're held accountable to your goals, hiring a coach. So often it's very tempting to blame the program or the other person, like I was saying before. And the truth is, as I said before, is that it all comes back to us. And, I think it's really important to keep some things in perspective. Like I was working with a mentor over not last weekend, but the weekend before, who actually coaches Jennifer Lopez. One of my idols. I love her so much. Yeah, I've actually done a Dharma Talk Tuesday about her before. And she's done a lot of personal development work. And she actually works with a coach who I got to work with a couple weeks ago. And he gave me some absolutely groundbreaking, life-changing feedback, which was such a blessing and so cool to get that support from him. But yes, even Jennifer Lopez has a coach. Like, how do you think she got to where she is? And then guess what? Her coach, this guy, this mentor who came into my world and rocked it, he has a coach. Anyone you look at who's extraordinarily successful has hired someone to help them get to where they are. Diane says, I think we know that some things take time, and if we believe in ourselves and our coaches do the work, then success will come, which is wise words coming from one of the most coachable women I've ever worked with in my entire life. So Diane, thank you for sharing that. Yaela, I find I forget to breathe with my poses. Any tips to remember to keep them connected? Last I heard, Oprah has 4 coaches. I completely believe that. She's actually worked with the man that I worked with a couple weeks ago as well. He's worked with some of the biggest in the world. So it's true. Okay, so remembering to breathe, Yaela. I'm going to put you on a stretch, Yaela, and anyone else who can relate to this challenge that Yaela's having, maybe you can try this as well, which is, I had an Ashtanga teacher in Hong Kong who said the whole point of in his case, Ashtanga practice, but just generally speaking, yoga practice, is to be able to breathe breathe deeply, like Ujjayi, deep breathing, in as many different shapes as you possibly can. Like, that's the point of the asana practice. Paola, hi! This is truly Mayan hour. I love it. That's so funny. Maya is my group coaching program, Money Alignment Yoga Academy, and a lot of my committed clients happen to be on the line right now, so I love that. And Yaela, what he said was, if you ever find yourself sacrificing your breath for a pose, then you need to get out of the pose or back off or go into child's pose until you can reconnect with your breath. And so, I gave you your practice already, I believe. So maybe your stretch is to stay in child's pose until you have connected with your breath. And then if you find yourself disconnecting from your breath, go back to child's pose and then recommence the practice once you've reconnected with your breath. And don't let yourself move out of a pose and into another pose until you've established that deep connection with your consistent, slow Ujjayi breathing. Are you up for that challenge? Are you up for that stretch? Let me know. I hope that helps. That's been a really big one for me because we all forget to breathe. I mean, I saw a comic one time somewhere. It was like, I go to yoga, I pay my yoga teacher to remind me to breathe. And that's so how it is. We all forget. And so just try that and see if that makes a difference for you. Cool. Try that. Awesome. Paola says, so pretty. Thank you. I received that. We are coming to the end of our Dharma Talk Tuesday today. If this made a difference for you, hearts and likes, and I would love it if you know anyone in the conversation of, I've invested so much, why is this not working? If you want to share this Dharma Talk Tuesday with them, you can just hit the share button and send it to them via Messenger or via their Facebook wall or via your Facebook wall. You can just share this, and hopefully this message lands and is powerful for somebody else that you know and that you care about, because I am committed as a coach and as a leader and in the work that I do to helping as many people as possible just take back their power, take back their sense of alignment, take back their sense of purpose and happiness and spaciousness and peace. And the way that we do that is by spreading this information and having it make a difference for even more people out there. So I would just love, I give to you guys every week, and if you could just little favor give back to me and share to anyone who you think this would really help, then that would be amazing. And I know they'll appreciate that, and thank you for that as well. As I said at the beginning of this session, I will post a link below this for you to check out and get to know a little bit more about what we do at the Dharma Circle, what we do in Maya, and if you want to start following me so you get the notifications for these Facebook Lives, which are every week, 4 o'clock Pacific, Dharma Talk Tuesday, and we will be back next week, same time, same place, and I look forward to seeing you there. And to everyone who attended today, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next week as well. Sending you so much love. Bye!